Hi, you guys. Hi. We are here with the team at Blush and Raven. They are one of our favorite bridal boutiques here in Calgary. And Blush and Raven offers a luxury one-on-one styling experience for the bride who values quality and authenticity, which is super cool. Thank you guys for coming. Or thank you for having us, actually. We're in their space.
You guys are just listening and not watching. You should switch to YouTube because we're in their beautiful space.
Yes. You guys can introduce yourselves if you want to start.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yasmin. I'm a senior stylist at Blush and Raven. That's all.
You nailed it.
Perfect. I'm Emma, and I am the marketing and communication specialist here.
And I'm Leanne. I'm the owner.
And I am Asma, the senior stylist and the sales supervisor.
Amazing. Well, we're so happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you.
Should we start off with a little cheers?
Yeah,
I feel like it's very fitting. We have to.
Bridal bubbles.
Cheers. What a great way to spend a Thursday.
The best way, the only way, honestly. Well, let's maybe start. Can you tell us a little bit about Blush and Raven?
Blush and Raven came into fruition while I was shopping for my own wedding gown. And it was just very apparent as a Calgarian, I value quality over quantity. And I really wanted to be treated special. And throughout my shopping journey in the city, I just felt a very lackluster. And there was one day, cold January day, like minus 20, and I was asked to stand outside with my Starbucks until I was finished. And at
At a bridal boutique?
At a bridal boutique. And funny enough, like by the time we went inside, you know, the dresses were all covered in plastic. We weren't allowed to touch them. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, that kind of just spawned an idea. And during that time, I was working in human resources, very specifically in organizational and strategy for small business. So I just built a plan.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. Built a plan, and Blush and Raven, really the essence behind that is blush is the soft, subtle side of a woman, and Raven is the dark and strong. So the yin and yang, we are all human, you know. We all have that unconventional edge, and so really our styles are about owning yourself, owning your true self, you know.
I love that.
And finding something unique.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Actually, the first time that I met you was your opening party at your old location.
Yeah, it was.
I had just moved here like 2 weeks before that, and somehow you came across my Instagram feed, and I was like, hi, I'm new if you ever want to work together. And you were like, actually, are you busy next week?
Yeah, I feel like we hit it off right away.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here now. This is your second location?
Second location. Yeah. So we were always in the Beltline, and we moved 3 years ago. So we were open in our previous location for 5 years, and it was just time to grow. The pandemic was like the most amazing time for this company because instead of, you know, cutting hours and cutting business, we decided that we were going to spend the time strategizing and really learning and honing in on a niche clientele. And at that time, we actually got rid of our bridesmaid department completely.
R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P. Yeah, for sure. Brides are where it's at. So yeah, we decided that we were going to move at that time. So we built out this incredible location from the concrete up, and just spent a lot of time on our marketing, on our strategy, and getting to know our client, like that really niche girl, but I feel niche in the bridal market, but really strong in Calgary. You know? Yeah.
What would you say a Blush and Raven bride is? Like, what is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
Who is she? Who is she?
Well, she definitely has her own voice. You know, she knows who she is and what she wants. She values relationships in her life. So she might not be the Instagram girl. She might not be the social media girl. She's picking up a magazine instead on her lunch hour at her, you know, high-level professional job, you know. She's going to be probably well-educated, probably dual income even before she's married. And, you know, just, yeah, she knows what she wants. She knows what she wants.
You truly are doing something different in the city.
Yeah.
I feel like that experience, that bad experience that you had when you were doing your own dress shopping, thank God you had it, because otherwise this wouldn't be here. This is so good.
No,
So-
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And that is just the person coming in, right? Like a lot of our brides, you know, of course they're working professionals, but a lot of them are doctors, nurses, lawyers. Like, these are women who don't have a lot of time and they really want to be provided a trusted service.
Yes.
And know that, like, we have their back, you know,
Yeah.
and that this is going to be taken care of, like, start to finish. And just
Totally.
come in, relax, like, put your Lululemons on, you know what I mean? Like, get your best friend, come sit on the couch, have a glass of Prosecco, and just let us do the shopping.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. The fact that you guys do the shopping is like such a tailored and beautiful experience for a bride. And that's what you just like put me at ease when I came here. It was like immediately like, whoa, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
And it was really a beautiful experience.
You
so.
found your dress.
I did. I found my dress and yeah, it was amazing. I love it still. I want to wear it every day.
I can confirm it was perfect.
I feel like our stylists, like, kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah. You guys have it down.
As photographers, because we usually don't know about the dress until we ask on our questionnaire like a month out or something. And whenever I see Blush and Raven, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. It's kind of like a status symbol a little bit.
I know. That's amazing. Well, I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you for the
Yes.
amazing feedback, because that's so important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real life feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want to know what trend you guys are all excited for 2025.
Okay, who wants to start with this one? Yeah.
Okay, I feel like for trends, we've really been like the scarves. They've been around.
Oh, yeah.
They've been doing a great number where everybody's just hugged on it. Some two pieces. I feel like brides are getting cooler. They're understanding like trends and
Yeah.
like getting on it, which has been fun, and having the versatility of like changing the look, changing into pants, or like changing into like minis.
The
That is
wedding
so
dress doesn't have to just be a wedding dress anymore. It's a fashion statement.
Oh my
I feel
God,
like
exactly.
It's so, yeah.
I love that. I love that for our brides. And then asymmetry. I feel like that's coming into bridal as well, and people are understanding the bridge between like fashion and bridal. What else is there?
One of my favorites is sheer. We've been seeing a lot of sheer. So whether that's like the skirt's a little bit sheer, you can kind of see like the outline of your legs in a dress, or like, and it's like a mesh, like a power mesh sheer over like a lace kind of like sheer.
Yeah.
And it's a statement. Like, it's very fashion forward.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. That's my favorite. That's got to be my favorite.
I love that.
It's so good. And I think,
yeah.
oh, and then the other one that I would say would be like a basque waist
Oh, yeah.
and a drop waist.
It's like right over there.
They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I love our silks, our warm ivories. This might be personal, but the girls love it. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you'll see inside here and you'll understand what we're talking about. But definitely a basque waist or a drop waist. Like, the girlies look so good.
Maybe after you
It's
guys
too
can
easy.
each show us your favorite dress.
Oh yeah, that'd be so much fun.
Cool.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, you got
The whole
me here for
story.
a while.
they're all our babies. Yeah. Like, here. I always say that because they like become your best friends, right? Like, you're so invested in them from the minute we're at New York like in New York at Bridal Fashion Week, we're like, ooh, you know, I love Lee, I love Leona, I love Lena, whatever, right? I like the name Elle because my name's Leona.
Just a little biased. I love it.
But yeah, from that minute, right? Like then you're spending time with her, you're picking the size, you're talking about like, you know, who is going to be buying this dress. So you're creating this profile of this person, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it hits the floor. So like we have a pretty big inventory, but they each individually, like they have a place in your heart, you know, like, yeah.
So cute. Really nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a dress named Lisa?
Not yet.
I'm just curious.
Former girlfriend, Lisa?
We do have a
Lisa.
we have a trunk
later.
show dress. We don't have a dress on the floor named Lisa.
Oh,
but we
okay.
do have a trunk show dress in the store
Oh,
right now.
interesting.
And she's very sweet. Yeah.
Well, Lisa just got engaged, so she might be a future Blush and Raven
I
bride.
haven't started wedding planning yet, but this will be my first stop.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
What I'm just gonna put you on the spot really quick. What kind of bra or what kind of dress would you be your instant, and then we'll see if they have any review on you being a bad choice or not.
I have no clue. That's why I would need the full experience. I would need someone to pick it for me.
Don't worry. You walk in, let us trust in us, and we'll guide you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what also is so like appealing, right? Is there's so many options now and so many trends coming and going, and
Totally.
it's overwhelming, right? Every magazine's different, or even
Absolutely.
Pinterest. Like as soon as you go on your phone,
Yeah.
you're inundated. So brides being able to come in and you guys are like, no, go this way.
Yeah, no. Just like the overload of information can also be so much to take in.
Yeah.
And when a bride comes in, she's like, you ask them, like, have you shopped? They'll be like, no, but we've like Pinterest shopped. And I was like, okay, that is not shopping. Let me show you what shopping is, right? And it's just guiding through the process of like, do you like structure? Do you want a slit? Do you want to look sexy? Do you want to look romantic? Like, what is your vibe? And like just playing with that and like showing them what can help you capture that as well, right?
Yeah, I love that. How much does the venue kind of play into what you guys are pulling for them too?
Good question. That is a good question. That's a super good question. And I raise my hand because I get excited. 'Cause I feel like,
I love this.
yeah, I feel like at Blush and Raven, and this is a personal perspective of someone who decided to work here specifically. Like I had never worked in bridal previous to this fashion experience and business experience. But one thing that I really like about here is that we are almost more interested to hear all of these details about our girl first before we even start talking about what a dress expectation is. I want to know like who you are. I want to know, you know, the details of your day. Obviously timeline is important, which we can touch on, but you know, what the venue looks like, what kind of thematic inspiration you guys have, what the vibe is, how many people are coming, is it indoor, outdoor? Like all of these details are so important because yes, they pertain to the day and obviously pertain to, you know, the bride's expectations, but you can see the look on her face when she's telling you about it. And like that just makes all the difference, I think. I'd love to know like, yeah, just like it's like a flash moment to kind of get to know her. You want to know who she's bringing to that appointment. You want to get comfortable. And then from there, I think it's important to ask about, you know, obviously what they're looking for in a dress. But if you're ever in an appointment with myself, for example, we'll talk about the first thing. I'll give girls 2 warnings. Like the first thing is that expect, especially if it's one of your first appointments, that your expectations will change. So even when we do our Pinterest shopping versus when we are even put into 1 or 2 dresses to begin with, that looks different. And we should celebrate that. We should like welcome that experience because that is a part of the process. There is no clouds parting and, you know, the heavens descending upon you. Even if the light shines
Nope, yeah, a
through
spotlight turns on.
the studio. Yeah. So that's one thing is, you know, be open to change and like, you know, feel comfortable being uncomfortable. And then I think the other thing too is just like understand you're going to look really good in everything. Yeah. Because that is really a hump girls have to get over.
Yeah.
they get confused. We're putting you in 3 different silhouettes, 2 different materials, and maybe 2 colors. And they are like, I love every single thing I've seen. And that's the difference, I think, between bridal and retail, right? Bespoke versus just other ordering processes. Like, we're here to make sure that we are figuring out your vision and figuring out yourself in the process. So you have to know that you're going to look super good in everything. And then once we accept that, you're going to get your pictures, right? The vibes are up. And then after that, that's when, we can narrow the vision. I always tell girls, like, it looks messier before it looks cleaner, right? We go out before we go in, and that just makes all the difference in the process. So very long-winded answer, but venues are super important, just like everything else about her, right? Even like, yeah, right down to what she's wearing in the appointment. We want to see you comfy. We want to see you in your natural state, and then we work with that. And I feel like brides that align with Blush and Raven's vision really understand that in the process. So yeah, venue's great.
That was, yeah. I think to kind of go on top of what you said is like, for us, we kind of think of our brides in certain different venues. If you're going to have like a downtown bride, you can do a little bit of a different dress. Maybe we're not running through a field if we're downtown, you know what I mean? So like, if we are having like more of a countryside wedding, we can, like, we have the space, we have the like volume. Like we kind of look at weddings, and as photographers, we think of like how we're going to photograph them and how we're going to have our couples moving in them. So that's like our piece, right? We're always like, okay, she can move in that. Yep. We're going to have her run or something, right?
Yeah, and the dress can totally make or break the photos. Like, there's definitely been circumstances where it's like the perfect day, but the dress maybe doesn't quite go, or you can tell she feels like restricted. Maybe she's not as or uncomfortable. Maybe she can't put her arms up and like hug her man. So the fact that you guys kind of take all that into account makes it easier for us to get those photos.
And for them.
Yeah, and for the the most.
For them.
I mean, it's all about us, really. Is there anything that you guys are ready to say goodbye to in the trend department?
Let Emma take this one.
Not that we don't like, but that we're just ready to like put away for a little while.
Yeah. I feel like this is less a trend and more just like part of the world right now. But like, honestly, like fast fashion. Like, I can't say enough about that. Like, the difference between having like an item that is quite literally handmade for you based on your measurements, like, versus buying something online and having it come in and not look like the photo. Like, it's insane. Like, the difference is insane. It's always going to be. And I think that like there's so much out there in the world. Like, there's so much product online and it's accessible, and that's totally fine. But I think that it's so easy to get lost in that. And like, ultimately, like, more often than not, girls are always going to come back to this like handmade piece. But I feel bad that they sometimes get lost in the like, oh, I can just find something similar online. And then they're back 2 months later and they're like, I hated it.
Yeah,
And I need to buy
the
this now.
fabric wasn't the same.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just like, there's so much value behind having a handmade item versus buying something that's like mass manufactured. Totally. Yeah. So that's not really a trend, but that would be mine. Would be fast fashion.
That was a really good answer. I was going to say decorative belts. I don't
Okay, yes. Belts, we've
Put them in
loved
our hair
you,
and stuff.
but you can sit down for a bit.
Yes, and fast fashion.
What would you say to replace?
Sorry?
If we had to replace the belt with something different, what would it be?
Oh, like a basque waist. Asma, take this one. Oh my God. She's the waist girl.
Quickly though. We have a trunk show, a Canadian designer trunk show in right now, named Former Girlfriend. But she has a sash. And it is gorgeous. You'll see it on Instagram later today.
My
but I would definitely replace the belt.
Right. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Oh my God, yeah,
Sorry.
totally. I feel like 2 pieces, because it gives you that separation. I think that works instead of like a belted situation where you're just like, you can switch up the look. If you like, if you're cool enough and you want to show the midriff, show it. But if you want to look that's seamless, you can play around with that. I feel like belts would be something that we can definitely put away for now.
Right. Okay.
You heard it here.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Oh,
If you have a belt,
I'll put it away.
throw it in the garbage right now.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think for us, just to kind of go on the fast fashion thing, on the photography side, you can tell, you really can. If it's like, if the fabric's not quite right or whatever, those little details do show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These designers take thousands and thousands, like pattern changes over and over to like perfect the fit on the body, the amount of boning, the way they sew the garments, the darts that are added. They're thought through so well for it to fit like a glove on the body and actually sculpt you or like drape where it needs to drape. Like all those little things, I feel like it makes or breaks a dress.
No, for sure. So we saw a lot of bows in the last year, and please tell me they're not going anywhere because I love them so much. they're staying? Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I'm the one to answer that. I feel like Emma's the one to answer about bows, but
Please, I'm
love
like
that.
obsessed. I think I'll always be obsessed.
it's like the drama.
Bigger.
Oh yeah.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're huge. Sometimes they're like they take up more like the silhouette of the bow is like takes over the silhouette of the body, and I'm okay with that.
I love that.
Small
think they're
ones,
great.
big ones. I love them all.
And I love yeah. And like even in decor, like people basing their weddings around like bow themed. I'm like, yes.
Okay, amazing. I just wanted
this.
like confirmation that wasn't going anywhere because not that for no reason, but I just love it.
Again, just to have more bows.
No, Sophia's just gonna design your wedding.
Like Lisa, guess what you're
The theme is bows. Maybe you can talk a little bit about kind of the average price of a dress, if that's a thing, or what kind of is on the lower end, what's on the higher end. Because probably a lot of brides don't have any clue once they start looking.
Yeah, I think that's common. Here in our boutique, our dresses kind of start around 3,000 and they go up from there. And I would say right now, like our most expensive dress sits around 13,000. And we can show you them later.
Yes, we want to see.
Yeah, but I would say probably the average price would be about 5,500 here.
Okay.
I mean, it really varies kind of where you go, but in our boutique, it would be like around 5,500 would be the average. Yeah.
And what kind of factors determine the price? Like what makes a dress more expensive or less expensive?
Ooh, good question.
I can start.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like we're all going to have a little bit of input here. But I mean, starting right down to like the business that you are working with, right? So I think it's already been brought up a couple times, but these are handmade items by very skilled seamstresses and ateliers. So that's not an easy skill to come by, and less now. Less and less as things become more mass produced. So, I mean, that's where it starts. But sourcing fabric and sourcing like raw fibers such as silk or silk laces, handmade laces, this is going to be like your next factor, right? Which is a really big deal. And then that designer has to potentially purchase enough in that dye lot on that spool, enough fabric to satisfy like all her stores that she's working with this one piece. So it really comes down to that. Like Asma mentioned, how long have they spent on the pattern, right? The make, the construction, the intricacies that go into it. Like we have one designer, Alexandra Greco, but her dresses are 100% silk. So if you see like a 3D lace, that lace is laser cut and hand stitched on. So, I mean, that's a huge amount of work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot that goes into that just from like a construction perspective, but then also you have to factor in where it's coming from in the world, right? Like from our perspective in the administration and the logistics, it's like, where is it coming from? What are the shipping costs, the duties that, like that's a big thing in Canada right now, right? Is our trade and who our partners are.
I think from the consumer perspective, something to think about is, this is an easy way to say this, but the proof is in the pudding sometimes. I think that when brides are shopping with us, what's nice about our styling experience is that when we're working with a budget, we want to keep the bride's means in mind, right? When we are, hand pulling and hand selecting. So sometimes we might hear that in an appointment, like why brides don't shop the racks necessarily. It just depends on the kind of appointment style that we have. But more specifically, what we're here to do is make sure that we can achieve your vision within your means, which is super important. So when people ask questions about what a budget looks like, we would reflect that back to the bride in order to ask them, what they'd be willing to spend on and what is important to them. To justify that spending. So when we talk about like a price range, let's say something that goes from 3 to 13, we can see brides fall anywhere in that place. Our job is to make sure that we can help achieve your vision while still keeping in mind, the ticket price behind it. It's also, with bridal, it's not the kind of industry where buyer's remorse is encouraged, right? In weddings in general. We don't want any remorse in those decisions, right? Down to the I do, right? Yeah. So I think that we really try to just consider like the number. I know it sounds like there's not a hard answer, but that is the answer, if that makes sense.
No, and that's, I think, what people don't understand, right? Yeah. Because if they've never shopped wedding dresses or this side of things before, they don't know where to start, and they're creating a budget out of no knowledge, right? We're like, okay, I'd be comfortable with this number, and that's the beauty of it. They can come in, they have a number, you can try and work with them within that, right? So, but yeah, you could get a dress that's $30,000, you could get a dress that's $4,000. That you can. There's dresses that are all around.
Quality is reflected in pricing, right? That is an understanding, but also what that quality means to the bride is what we're here to explore.
Exactly.
Right?
Love that.
And we just go about it like that. So, and then this is what we talk about with expectations changing, right? These conversations happen, more discoveries happen, and you might notice a difference of a silk on a certain gown at a higher price point versus maybe one that's a little bit lower, right? And how that, how much that value or how much you value that, right? Is just up to the bride. So
totally.
We just try our best to kind of suit their needs, all things considered.
And just to add to that quickly, and you will appreciate this as photographers, but the more comfortable the bride is with her purchase, the better representation of herself, like her true self, she is going to be on that day.
Yeah.
Right? So we really factor that in, like her value system, right? And we really factor that in, like when pulling dresses. So, yeah.
And we see it all the time.
Amazing.
Like you can see when someone puts their dress on and they're immediately just like so happy. And then you can see someone that maybe doesn't feel that way. And it's just so special to like that moment when she puts it on. It's so amazing. Yeah. Actually we didn't talk about this question before, but I'm curious. Do brides share with you, like, I know most of your brides are like professional women out there, but is it something that like parents are sometimes contributing to? Is she normally paying for it all herself? Does she like tell her fiance?
I can start.
She doesn't tell her fiance.
Yeah, we actually asked Sophia's husband how much he thought her dress was, and he was a little bit off.
I think I watched that.
We were like, pretty close.
This was definitely a big shift for our business during the pandemic, 100%, because we've always targeted a dual income or, more working professional with a moderate budget. We were also the demographic that had a lot to lose during the pandemic, right? And so where we saw a huge shift was, the influencer is the parents again, or a lot of the time, or the grandparents, right? Like they really want to be part of the experience, and they want to be part of that purchase, more so than in the past, right? And that was part of the reason why we designed the space the way we did, because we wanted the shopper and all of her guests of honor to come in and feel at ease and feel supported.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt.
If you're enjoying this episode, we would really appreciate it if you downloaded it.
Downloads are the best way for us to generate revenue.
The money helps us come out with new episodes and have more amazing guests.
Subscribe to the show to automatically download future episodes, and make sure to leave us a rating and review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And share it with a friend. Brings us to another question. How many people would you guys recommend to come to an appointment? Because we've all seen the shows on TV. There's like 20 people.
In my personal opinion, I would say like 1 or 2. Yeah. Max.
Amazing.
Honestly.
And who are those people usually? Like mom?
I think it depends. Like, I think for each bride, it's going to be different. And I think that ultimately it's going to be the people whose opinions you value the most, but also the people that you know are going to be there to support you. Yeah. And celebrate you. And they're not focused on necessarily like the details of the dress, but they're looking at your face and they're thinking, she's glowing in this. Like, this is the one she loves, so this is the one I love. Like, I think that those are the people that you want with you. I think you can bring as many people as you want. Like, it can be a super fun experience, and I think that that's important. But I think something that like we've kind of talked about here is like, the more people you bring, the less dresses you actually get to try on, because there's more opinions in the room. And sometimes that can like really sway you, and not necessarily in like a good way, I guess. Right. Yeah. Like, I think it's important to bring the people that like are always going to put you and what you want first.
That's a great thing to consider, because you do have less time because so much chatter, right? On average, would you say that people are choosing their dress with more people in the room, or they're making that decision when there's like less people in the room? Or is that a statistic that you could even answer?
I think I would say less, probably. I think that often you'll come in and have like 5 people there with you and have the experience, and then come back with like just mom.
Yes.
And kind of like finish everything off.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably the most common, I would say. And not to say that's for everybody, because really everybody differs, and sometimes you want to have everybody around you, and that's so fun. Like, come and like have fun and be with your girls and like have that moment, if that's who you are at your core. And if you need time and you need like the space to like be 100% sure with yourself, then like just come with mom, or come with your sister, whoever it is that's special to you. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to ask you this. Do you have any crazy stories about something that happened in an appointment?
Far too many.
Some that can't be shared, I'm sure.
Leanne's probably got a crazy story or two.
This was like, in our old location. So we had a storefront at that time. It was the end of a really busy Saturday, and we had one last appointment, and a limo pulls up with a huge bride tribe. And they haul in a full cooler of beer. Now, yes, for real though. And it was very obvious they had a lot of fun that day. Unfortunately, we had to end the appointment there. But that was definitely one standout crazy moment.
I'm curious what dress you would have pulled for that girl.
There was no dresses. We had to reschedule. Yeah.
That's too good.
And hopefully the limo stuck around for them to like take home the cooler of beer. So
I'm sure it didn't go to waste.
No, I'm sure it didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyone else?
We're neighbors with the fire department.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Like, that's happened here or there, like where we've had to head down the stairs. But honestly, our brides are so good. Like, everyone's like, this is kind of fun. Like, yeah.
Like they have to leave in their dress or something.
Yeah, and obviously there was no like emergency in the building. Just
just the alarm.
Happened to be that Saturday afternoon with the bride and her tribe, and we were just
You guys keep it exciting.
we're chatting it up on 10. Yeah,
Never a dull moment.
never, ever. Yeah.
Is there anything brides should do to prepare before they come to an appointment?
100%.
Not drink a bunch of beer before showing up, maybe?
Leave your cooler of beer in the limo.
Yeah. I mean, wear some undies.
Oh, yes. Important.
Yes.
Okay, but on a more serious note, Emma can.
On a more serious note, I would say it is important to do a little bit of exploration before you come. whether that is like Pinterest shopping or doing like a bit of exploratory shopping. Like we've kind of already talked about this, but because we pull the dresses, this is so much of a different experience than you're going to have at other stores. Yeah. And because of that, I think it's so important to have an idea of what you're looking for before you come in. Do you have something to say about that?
Oh, just touching on some earlier points, like just maybe understanding some element of your vision. Some people have a Pinterest board, some don't. Some have looked on Instagram, some haven't. Even if there's like an expectation about what they think they might want, I think all those things are important. A decent understanding of your budget is really important. And probably an understanding of bridal timelines is like the only thing that I would add to that, right? Like we look at about 6 to 8 months order lead time, right? That's on average. It does depend on the designer and their queue and all that. And we advise, a good 2 months for alterations in a most perfect state. So it's almost like a year-long process. So usually it's just like timeline too, a little bit of Pinteresting and the ability or like openness to all the possibilities that are going to happen in the room. Yeah, that's it.
And you kind of mentioned about lead times, and then Leanne, you kind of mentioned what's happening in our world right now with all of these crazy
Do we have like
tariffs.
2 more hours?
We're not gonna say the T word on this podcast,
Okay,
but maybe you can touch on how pricing has changed over the last couple of years,
Yeah.
how shipping times have changed, kind of how that all works and where we're at now.
Yeah, for sure. There's been a lot of changes, like to the world economy, especially with war breaking out, and the extra like emergency shipping fees coming out of those countries, and then all the way to, like I said, like Canada's relationships with some of our trading partners, and the Canadian dollar sadly has like really weakened, and most things are purchased in US dollars, period. Whether the designer is purchasing the fabric in US dollars or we're purchasing the gown in US dollars, like that has like a major, major play. And while we held off as long as we could. We honestly did not raise our prices since 2019, so before the pandemic. And this past January was our first price increase. But that is because just it is such a vast difference that we couldn't hold on any longer. So yeah, unfortunately, it is sad. The industry in general is just becoming more expensive, where maybe 2 years ago, our average price point in the showroom was $3,500. Now it's $55, right?
Yeah.
And that is just like a nature of what has been happening. So I know it's funny because people are like, "Wow, you own a bridal boutique? Like that must be so special."
That's so fun.
The last thing I do is sell dresses. Like I am just like up on like world economics every day.
You're just crunching those numbers all night.
Trying to get those prices down. So yeah. It is a sad nature of the bridal industry, but I would say probably just, and fashion in general as well. So yeah.
So something to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah.
As they're shopping, like, does it affect where it comes from? You kind of mentioned like where it comes from in the world.
Yeah.
Affects pricing a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it like the further it comes?
Not necessarily. Like it will, some shipping providers give really good rates. But definitely if it is coming out of a place that is having like some sort of emergency, there's actually like an extra like fee on top of that. So that does definitely affect pricing for sure. Yeah.
All right, good to know. On that topic, discounts, I know some places offer like, I don't know exactly how it works, but if you like buy it that day, there's a discount, or how does that all work? And what do you guys do in the store?
Who wants to start? Okay, I can start. There may be more to add for sure. We do not offer a same-day discount. We are a small business. We hold a very high regard and a very high value to our designers. All of our designers are small businesses. They are not mass manufactured. Their family runs their ateliers. Like, it's so personal. And there is such a value system on these relationships and the products that we sell. I really think that it would be a disservice if we were offering discounts. But also going back to like what Yaz mentioned about learning the bride's value system. If you're buying just based on a discount, then is that the right dress for you?
Yeah.
And so that's where we look at it. I would rather have price our product, at a more moderate price point, than have to raise our prices and then offer a discount, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we do have a great bride referral program where we do offer.
That's good to know.
Where we do offer a preferred price.
You guys, I feel like she's going to make me leave here with a dress today.
You're just going to be having an appointment once we get this camera gear.
It will be live for the world to see.
Live, yeah. I don't know. Does anyone else have anything to add? Yeah.
I just want to touch on the idea of, okay, so if there's a transaction happening, obviously this is a sale. But one thing I think we all can agree on at Blush Raven is that this is an emotional selling process. So with that in mind, incentivization can be a little bit dangerous, just because, like Leanne was mentioning, and when we talk about the values of our bride, if you are being compelled by something that is not specifically the feeling and that dress and you being that girl, I can't morally condone that, if that makes sense.
This is so good.
Yeah.
This is so good. I just got really passionate.
Okay.
When hearing you, I'm like, that is such a good way of
into it.
thinking about it. It's like you don't want to add on any extra pressure onto this already.
I think brides have to, I'm not going to say it like that. Brides have to understand. I don't understand. I'm not a bride. But I think it's really important for people to understand that this experience and shopping in the bridal realm is a lot different than most other things that people are doing. It's hard to decide what kind of car you want to buy or what kind of home you want to buy or, a dress for a specific occasion. If you think about your wedding dress, the stakes are high. And we're here to address that as candidly as possible and with transparency and with love in the process. So, if we are incentivizing you with discounts, we do respect your budget, but this is why we keep in mind that number when we're pulling for you. We want to take that stress away. We want to make this a more facilitated process. So part of the work in the room is figuring out or addressing the bride's concern, whatever that might be, her emotions, maybe, body image perceptions, comfort, your peanut gallery, anything like that, right? We're here to help with all of those things in mind. But the biggest thing at the end of the day is that you need to be comfortable and happy with the dress that you're picking, because that's a reflection of your love, it's a reflection of yourself. And when you look at those photos 10 years down the line, or you look at your partner, you want to feel secure in that decision.
It's a feeling.
And I think that a Blush and Raven bride really understands that. And like we said, we have the referral program where we're bringing our friends, we're bringing our community back into the space. We're supporting local. We make friends with our brides. We're here in this situation with you guys because of this, right?
Well, soon to be you.
Right?
Soon.
Exactly. But, there's an experience that one bride has valued and then shared to her friend, right? And then this is how we're able to value it, give back to you guys in that experience, right? So that's probably, it's an emotional process, and we have to honor that, I think.
And a thing that we've realized just in general in the wedding industry is that clients there's not a lot of knowledge going into that. They don't know the things that we know. That's basic, right? So education and letting them know, which is why we're here today to chat with you guys, let them know kind of what you guys bring to the table and what the experience is like, because people go in not knowing, right? And
Yeah, it's not a pair of jeans.
No.
No, that's true. Maybe you can explain quickly how the referral program works, because I suspect we will probably have a couple
bunch of
Blush and Raven brides that are listening.
Okay. Why don't you do it? Okay.
Our referral program is basically if you are a Blush and Raven bride, if you've already purchased a gown and you refer a friend, and then your friend comes in and has an appointment and purchases, then they basically get preferred pricing on their gown.
They get a little love.
Yeah.
A little Blush and Raven
Yeah,
love.
you get a little love.
You heard it here first, guys. So if you're a past bride, bring your
bring your friends.
gals.
Send your girls here.
Amazing.
Let us know that you have a friend that bought with you, and we'll take care of you.
Sophia's going to be telling everyone.
I already have.
Use Sophia's name.
I had a bride. She was a New Year's Eve bride, actually, and she saw that I had a new white dress, and she was like, immediately, I was like, yes, and I was like, yes, and we were just
influenced her.
and that's one of my favorite things in the morning is like getting to like like unzip, look at the dress, and I'm like, wow, I just can't wait. I love it. It's like
You never know what a bride.
Yeah, we never know.
Yeah,
so when we get there and it's like hanging in the room, we're like, hi, nice to see you. Happy wedding day. Okay, let me see the dress.
Where's the dress?
Yeah.
It's like a celebrity. You're like, where is it?
Yeah, we want her in all the pictures. We're like moving her around.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so amazing, you guys. I feel like people are going to really take a lot away from this, and it will make the process a little more
seamless.
Yeah, seamless. They kind of know what to expect. Yeah. Well, we hope we have some Blush and Raven brides listening.
Yeah. Is there any last things that you guys would like to share at all, or?
One more thing that I just want to say, just kind of adding on to what we were just talking about, is that like, as your stylist, like we are, the second you walk through the door, not even, the second you send through an appointment request, from that point forward, we are there for you 100%. Like in every way, shape, and form, we are there to basically be your support system.
You're the besties.
Yeah, like in whatever way that looks like for you, like we're there for you, and like we want you to be able to lean on us. Like we want you to trust us, and like and ask for support where you need it, and like we're gonna be there 100%, because this should be a safe space for every bride.
Yeah, it is a safe space for
It
sure.
feels very safe.
It's so safe.
Oh, good.
And very luxurious and comfortable. We love it in here.
We might just record here all the time.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Hot Ones on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
This camera, this camera, this camera. Tell the world what is next for Blush and Raven, or what's going on, where they can find you, socials, how they You don't actually have to look at the camera. It's just it's what he does on the anyway.
I'm like, what is hot?
Yeah, you'll have to go watch it after this. It's really funny.
We'll show you.
Anything exciting?
I can take the socials for sure. We are at Blush and Raven YYC on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. I think they're all the same.
Nice.
We actually have so many of our dresses on Pinterest, and so I highly recommend, before you come in for an appointment, like go through our Pinterest, because our Pinterest has like a lot of our inventory, like almost all of it, and so that'll be like a really good place to get a vibe for like our designers and our dresses that we have in stock. And in the store for you to try. And our website is www.blushandraven.com. And you can book an appointment through there, or you can call us. But we're here. Yeah. We can be contacted anyway. Yeah. I am on it. As soon as we get a DM, I'm like,
amazing. Yeah, amazing. So, are you guys always at Fashion Week?
Yeah.
Or okay. Well, there you go. Well. That's what's coming up, I guess.
Yes, so that's coming up in April. Bridal Fashion Week will be April. Fast. Yeah. We go twice a year.
Free if you guys.
We're We're gonna.
You're like, actually, what are the dates?
We're gonna come for a long time. So one of these days we're gonna be like, hi.
Hey.
But we'll be in New York.
Awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming, and
Oh my gosh, thank you for having us.
Thank you for chatting with us, you guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Let's go see those dresses.
Yes, let's do it. Are you sitting at your computer editing right now? If so, why?
Let Imagen AI do it for you and get back to doing what you love.
We are so excited to be working with Imagen AI.
Imagen is the industry-leading post-production platform. They're a team driven to build tools that let photographers spend more time doing what they love instead of at their computers.
Visit the link in our show notes to get started with Imagen and claim your free edits today.